I think I've reached a point where I want every hidden object game to be about alchemy. Well, that's not entirely accurate. If it's a horror game or a modern detective adventure, you can do whatever you want. But if it's a historical game, or in any way fantastic, I just can't see a good reason not to make the game about an alchemist, herbalist, or any of the associated trades. There's 100 ways to justify them gathering reagents, mixing potions can be relied upon to inspire clever minigames. It's just a solid base on which to build a quality game. Persian NIghts is a perfect example of what a great idea this is. It's another of Artifex Mundi's infrequent games that riff on popular franchises, and the addition of an alchemist main character goes a long way towards distinguishing itself from the series that inspired it, giving the game a personality all its own. Now, the hidden object criteria. The game is fairly good on this front, no cheating of any kind, although more than once a word turned up in the item lists that had me absolutely baffled. Forgive me if this is revealing my ignorance, but am I really expected to know what to click on when the word Genbia shows up? A few screens suffer from a large amount of random items strewn about in order to increase the difficulty level a bit, and one screen in particular so relied on the use of drawings of items that it bordered on unfair, but by and large these are extremely well-drawn scenes. Entirely. There are assembly scenes, fully integrated scenes, and mosaic scenes, every one of them occurring in a logical location within the game world. My only quibble with the game is that I would have liked to have seen more hidden object scenes. Every one of them works logically in the story. A trashed armory, the contents of a fallen crate. If only the developers had found a way to drop a few more in. They obviously have a great facility for making these scenes, so a few more would have been a pleasure to play. I've noticed a recent trend of developers shying away from asking players to go back and visit hidden object scenes multiple times. I think this is a mistake. I get that some may find it a lazy device, but there's a distinct pleasure in gradually cleaning up a screen over multiple visits to it, as well as the joy of being asked to click on a notable item that was featured prominently on the first attempt, but didn't actually make it into the list of items. Incredibly well. This is another stellar adventure game from publishers with a pretty fantastic track record. It follows a heroic alchemist on her journey to thwart a mysterious plague, partners her up with a roguish adventurer and a klutzy genie, and then sends the three of them to a variety of inventive locations, each one more outlandish and delightful than the last, other than the one that's just a village. The story rockets forward at a blistering pace, moving through 5 major locations in around 2 hours without ever sacrificing character or spectacle. In addition to the standard assortment of devious locks and magical seals, the developers include a clever spiritual combat mechanic to enable some thrilling boss fights. The real achievement here, however, is the character work. All 3 main characters are well written and extremely well voiced, and they have a great rapport with one another. With so many hidden object games framed as solitary experiences, this is a breath of fresh air that succeeds in both concept and execution. I'd love to show you the strangest thing in the game, but it's a great surprise, so I can't risk it. Instead, here's the cutest thing in the game, a bunch of simmered kittens. There isn't one, so no. I know that promising a sequel at the end of a game isn't a binding contract, and it's perfectly likely that we'll never get another Persian NIghts game, but that would be a tragedy. These are strong characters caught up in a larger-than-life adventure, and the result is a story that delights from beginning to end. I played the demo of this game nearly a year ago, and I was more excited by it than any other hidden object demo I'd ever played. I can now happily report that the finished product doesn't disappoint in any way, shape, or form. This review is based on a copy of the game provided by the publishers. If you'd like to watch the playthrough that led to this review, just click on the rectangle that allows you to do that. See you back here for the next review, but until then, au revoir.